Hey, what's up, Flyer fans? It's Flying with Doug back with another weekly catch up. Hopefully, everybody's having a good Wednesday. It is extremely hot. I know, been working outside and it's been kicking my butt. So, thanks everybody. Thanks everybody who comes in and joins the show today. I just wanted to get in here, talk some Flyer hoops, see what people are thinking of the team. I know it's only June, but it's Flyers are definitely on my mind all the time. So would love to talk some hoops. I got a couple different things I want to look at today. I'm going to start off at the top. Last week I joined TKDS Sports on their network and had a very successful show, and that was thanks to a majority of you guys tuning in, watching the show, supporting the show. So thank you to everybody who came on and checked out the show. It made it a success, and hopefully that opens some doors going forward. Um, for me, that I would like to continue moving on in this direction of doing more stuff, talk about Dayton, things like that. So definitely helped me out. So thank you guys. I really do appreciate everybody who tuned in last week. To start the actual portion of the show, Daron Holmes, guys. News just dropped that Daron Holmes is going to be at the draft room, in the green room for the 2024 draft. His dad tweeted it out a little bit ago, and then it was confirmed. So Daron Holmes will be in the green room for the 2024 draft. That is incredible, incredible news for Dayton. I mean, seeing a guy from UD in the draft room, it can only help. It can only get more eyeballs on the program and support the program more. So, in my opinion, that is a massive win for Dayton. Congratulations, Daron Holmes. Awesome, awesome job. Well deserved. You definitely deserve to be there with the best players in the country, because that's what you are. You are one of the best players in the country. So, to back that up, though, I'm going to go through a couple mock drafts and talk about where Daron Holmes is, because we're literally a week away from the NBA draft. So it's time to start tightening the screws, figuring out where Daron could end up. So I'm going to start off at the top. At this point, Jonathan Gavoni, I don't think likes Daron Holmes. I'm not sure what his issue is. He has Daron Holmes the lowest of anybody that I've seen on their draft boards. Right now, he has Daron going 53rd to the Pistons. That seems insane to me. 53rd to the Pistons. Then I go down NBA draft room. They have him going 25th to the Knicks. I don't love that. I don't want to see another Dayton Flyer on the Knicks. I just don't think Thibodeau and rookies work out, and that's just a uphill battle for Daron Holmes that I don't want to see him have to go through as a rookie, especially after dealing with the Obi Toppin stuff. Next, Kevin O'Connor from the Ringer. He has Daron going 28 to the Nuggets. That's Kevin O'Connor has been high on Daron for a while, so I'm not surprised to see him have him at 28. NBA Draft.net has him going 28 to the Nuggets also. Another good spot. I mean, could you imagine Daron Holmes going to get to play with the Nuggets, getting to play with Jokic and getting to learn from those guys, getting to play behind Aaron Gordon? That can only help his progression that much more. And then CBS Sports, they had two separate mock drafts. In one, Daron was going 22nd to the Suns. I think that's a good spot for him to get to play with some superstars and get to learn from those guys. So I like that pick for the Suns at 22. And then in the other one I saw, they had him going 28 to the Nuggets. So it seems like right now, based on what I'm seeing in NBA mock drafts, Daron Holmes is trending in. He's obviously in the first round, but he's trending to that 28th pick to the Nuggets. So look out for him. He could always go sooner. I wouldn't mind seeing him go to the Cavaliers, the Celtics. I definitely talked about those two teams in the YouTube video I did on his draft profile. So not a lot has changed since then, but Daron Holmes got the invite to the draft room. That's awesome, awesome, awesome stuff for the Dayton Flyers, and awesome for Daron and his family. They're going to definitely remember that night for a long, long time. So good for them. Next thing on the agenda, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about the schedule. We've got three games that we know for sure, and then we also have the Maui Invitational. So right now we know we're going to play St. Francis on November 4th. We're going to play Northwestern November 9th. We're going to play Lehigh December 7th. And then we have the Maui Invitational November 25th to the 27th, with one of the deepest fields that I can remember for the Maui. Listen to this field, guys. Auburn, Colorado, Iowa State, Memphis, Michigan State, UNC, UConn, and then Dayton. That is a murderer's row to start a summer turn or a beginning tournament for a team like Dayton, especially when we're bringing in new guys. We're trying to get new guys on the same page. Those early games against Northwestern and some of these other matchups are definitely going to help get us ready for the Maui. But, and then, of course, shout out to Jason. We also have Cincinnati on December 20th, the home version of that, or the matchup with Cincinnati. So thank you to Jason. December 20th, Cincinnati, another great game. Cincinnati is going to be a much better team this season, in my opinion. So that's going to be a good matchup for the Flyers also. Thank you, Jason. So again, that Maui field, though, guys, that Maui field is absolutely loaded. I'm getting the impression that we're going to end up playing like North Carolina or UConn in the first round, because I feel like the way this is laid out, they want the big name teams to be in the Final Four. So just a guess. It's just a guess. I would say it'll be Dayton versus UNC. It'll be Colorado versus probably Memphis. Then it'll be Auburn and UConn probably. And then we get Iowa State and Michigan State. The Cincinnati game is it's the game. I'm drawing a blank. It's the neutral site game again. Sorry, Jim. I misspoke earlier. It's a neutral site game, I believe. I'll have to double check. Jason probably knows better than I do off the top of my head. I had the other 4 games circled, and I'm thinking about the Maui, but I believe it's neutral site again, which, I don't like. I wish we would just do a home and away. Jason, there's rumors Grant wants another charity game this year, looking for someone to play us. I think that the charity game is a fantastic idea. I think it's a great warm up, a great way to see another team come in and play. I hope Dayton can find a good opponent for that. I know Jablonski was talking about that also, and it's getting played at the Heritage Arena gym. So another neutral site game against Cincinnati. So right now, if you look at Dayton's schedule, I mean, it's pretty damn solid, guys. Northwestern at home, Cincinnati down at Heritage, St. Francis, Lehigh, and then the Maui. That's some strong competition to start the year. So nothing to scoff at. And obviously we have a lot more games to fill in that schedule, and we'll talk about that as we go. Next, we're going to talk about, so I've been racking my brain about lineups, and it's way too early to be doing this, but I want to keep thinking about these lineups and think about where is the shooting going to come from for Dayton. That is what worries me the most about this Dayton Flyers team. When you look at what we have right now, I'm just not sold on this team's ability to shoot right now. If we pull up the numbers from last year, obviously last year's statistics don't carry over because we also obviously have new players. Things have changed. People are going to get better. But looking at our 3-point shooting, Brady Ewell shot 50%. He obviously didn't shoot a lot of threes. Then we had Kobe Brea. Then Nate Santos shot 41.8% last year. Nate Santos is going to be huge for this team in terms of shooting. 41% from 3 on his volume is very impressive. And you got to think, with some of the players leaving, Daron Holmes going pro, Nate Santos is going to get a lot more shots as this season goes along. So I think if he can stay around 37, 38% on higher volume, that's going to really help this team out. And then you look at Javon Bennett last year, ended up shooting 31.6% from 3. That's got to improve. I know he had some good games. I know there was a transition period where he didn't shoot as well. 31.6% is not good enough percentage. We need that to improve. If he can get up to 34, 35%, that's going to help tremendously this offense. And then Enoch Cheeks, 30% from 3 last year. I hope these guys are working on their 3-point shooting. We have to improve the 3-point shooting. When you look at Posh Alexander, we'll pull him up. He's not a fantastic 3-point shooter either. He's definitely, a streaky shooter that can get hot, but not a consistent knockdown shooter like you would want. And then Malachi Smith, that's been a knock on him also, is the 3-point shooting, the willingness to take 3-point shots. Posh Alexander shot 33% last year from the 3-point line, but the attempts are where I'm looking at. He did not take a ton of 3-point shots, and that's why 33% kind of is misleading in those situations when the 3-point attempts are not very high. He shot just under 3 threes a game. So for a point guard who has the ball a lot, we need him to be able to knock down threes also. And then when you look at Jacob Connors, he shot the ball pretty well for Marshall last year. We'll pull him up. You know, I expect him to definitely be a stretch 4, and I'm looking forward to him getting some more shots and hopefully getting better looks than he got at Marshall last year. But yeah, he shot 34% last year at Marshall. So definitely has a capable shooter, but we need shooting from these guys, because here's the thing. You know, we've got 2 freshmen coming in, and Hamad Musa and Emil Latang. Both guys look like they want to shoot threes and be shooters, but we don't know until we get to see them play. So if those guys can come in and shoot good percentages and be good shooters, that's going to make this team so much better. I really hope those guys can come in and help. I hope Musa is as good as advertised, because if he is, that takes this team's ceiling to another level. And I do believe there's going to be a transition period for both guys. I think if anything, Musa will be ready a little bit sooner than Latang, and we'll have to bring him on and build him up a little bit more. But if Musa can be the talented player, a first round pick in the 2025 draft type guy, Dayton is going to be a damn good team, because in the highlights and everything that I saw, Musa has a very nice shot. He is a willing shooter, but we need that percentage to be a little bit higher and a little bit more consistent. And Latang also has a nice jump shot. When you watch highlights of him, he has a solid, nice, compact jump shot that looks really good. So I believe that those 2 guys are going to be able to contribute at the 3-point line. It's just going to be consistently. We're losing a lot of good shooters, you know, in Brea, Holmes, and then Zedkey. You know, Jason mentioned Zedkey. Here's the thing. Maybe he was an okay shooter. I don't think Zedkey is going to be living at the 3-point line like Daron Holmes. He's going to be back to the basket a lot more and maybe face up in that 15-foot area. Zedkey last season shot 25% from 3. So I don't want Zedkey out there taking a lot of threes. He's going to be back to the basket. He's going to be facing up from, 18 to 20 feet is what I'm assuming at the most. So right there, Marvell Allen, we need to see him play. We need to see his game. We need to see if he can improve and if he can, really help this team also. Let's talk about his injury. It was revealed to us that he had some knee work done. He's going to be ready in August to start playing basketball again and starting getting into season shape. That worries me because he dealt with injuries all last year, and it feels like he's just not getting a fair shake at his college career. That worries me quite a bit, though. So I am put me down as worried about Marvell Allen right now because it's just not working out for him the way I'm sure he envisioned his career when he came to Dayton. I thought he based on what I've seen, based on everything I've watched on him, he's a talented player. It's just injuries have piled up on him these first 2. Red shirt last year, injured this year, had some knee work done, a scope, whatever you want to call it, to clear things out and relieve pressure. That definitely sets you behind as a point guard who you need reps with the ball. You need reps running the offense. And then that also takes me to Simons. I hope he's ready to play and is able to recover from his ankle injury that he had, and he's recovering from surgery. I hope that goes well because, he is a big body. He is a 6'6" frame, very solid, well put together, a nice looking jump shot dating back to high school because we didn't get to see him last year, but he has a nice mid-range jump shot that hopefully can extend his range also, but we don't know. So we're going to have to rely on some of these guys that we have not got to see actually, suit up and play because we're dealing with injuries again. And I have the same reservations as with Mally. Mally's coming off another injury. Jump shot, at times has not been reliable. In the way he plays, he is a high energy guy. He is up in you on defense. He is pushing the break, trying to get it to the basket. I'm worried about his injuries too. That's 3 guys that we have coming off of injuries that worry me because they're going to have to be major contributors to the team. So we've talked about it a couple different times. We talked about rotations. And as of right now, I haven't changed my mind. Let me know in the comments what you guys think is going to be the game 1 starting lineup. As of right now, I do believe this is based on what I think the coaching staff is going to put out there. Posh Alexander is going to be the 1. Malachi Smith will be the 2. Cheeks will be the 3. Nate Santos will be the 4. Zed Key will be the 5. Guys, when you look at that lineup, there is one shooter in that lineup. We have one guy who can space the floor. There is no reason for teams not to pack it in against that lineup and make everybody shoot except for Nate Santos. That worries me. Posh Alexander is going to have to be a willing participant from 3. Malachi Smith cannot be afraid to take threes. Enoch Cheeks is going to have to be willing to take open shots. Making them is going to be a different story. I told you guys the percentages are not fantastic, but right now it doesn't look like we have a lot of options at the 2, unless we move Cheeks to the 2. And if Hamad Musa is as good as people say he is and has the potential that he has, he very well could start at the 3, and Malachi Smith could come off the bench and be the 6th man. Jason wants to flip Javon Bennett for Malachi Smith. I don't love that, but I do think he's a better shooter than Malachi Smith, so I don't hate it. But I just think that size is going to be a little bit of an issue in some of these games. So I'm not totally opposed to Javon Bennett being the 2, but I think the coaching staff is going to lean towards Malachi Smith in this situation, unless Hamad Musa is as good as advertised. And then I believe Cheeks will start at the 2. Hamad Musa will start at small forward. Nate Santos will start at the 4. Zed Key will start at the 5. That's the dream scenario, is Hamad Musa is as good as advertised, and we get to see him start at small forward day 1. Now, that is rare. Daron Holmes started as a freshman. Not many people get to start as freshmen for Dayton and AG. AG, he does go with experience most of the time. So that will be interesting to watch going forward. The bench rotation is going to be an interesting battle for sure. Also, health is going to play a factor. Marvell Allen, can he play with Javon Bennett? Can Emil Latang play minutes where he's the stretch 4 with Isaac Jack? How deep is, AG willing to go to his bench? Is Jacob Connors going to be able to actually get on the floor and play minutes? Is he going to be able to stretch the floor? Are we going to have to play him more because of his ability to shoot? There's a lot of question marks with this roster going forward. I think it's a talented roster, but some people are a lot more locked in on this being a really good team. And we have a lot of questions still to ask and still to answer. The bench unit, I would assume, depending on the starting lineup, Javon Bennett will be the 6th man. Marvell Allen will be in there. Isaac Jack will be off the bench. I would assume if Hamad Musa is coming off the bench, he'll be getting good minutes off the bench too. But right now, it's only June, so we have a lot of time to figure this out. We have a lot more information to gather. I think this team has a lot of potential, but we have to see it happen first. I don't love putting a guy out there that keeps getting injured. Leave him in there with the second unit. Yeah, that's been my complaint, unfortunately, with Malachi Smith, is we just don't know what we're getting, and he's been injured, and I don't want to put him in a bad situation where he feels like he has to do too much coming back, but he's been cleared. We saw the report. He is 100% cleared. He is ready to go. I think that New York backcourt has a lot of potential. I keep using the word potential, but that's what we have to base this off of because, again, Malachi Smith been hurt for the last 2 years. Marvell Allen dealing with injury recovery right now. John Simons dealing with injury recovery right now. We know Posh Alexander is a damn good basketball player. We know Enoch Cheeks is a damn good basketball player. We know Zed Key is an effective basketball player. We know Nate Santos is a good, solid basketball player. But is anybody on this team. Somebody on this team has to differentiate themselves this season and be a star. This team needs a star. And as of right now, we don't have a for sure star on the team. We have guys who could potentially be stars. I think Hamad Musa has a chance to be a star. I think Posh Alexander could be a star in the A10. I think he's going to be one of the better guards in the A10, but we've got to see it happen, and we need somebody to be that guy. So right now, I think this team is more appealing potentially than they are actually on paper. I look forward to learning more about this roster, seeing the schedule shake out, and definitely looking forward to draft night for Daron Holmes. I hope he goes in the early 20s and goes to a good team and can learn and grow his game and continue to excel, because he's been a fantastic ambassador for Dayton basketball, and I've enjoyed watching him for 3 seasons. This has been Flying with Doug. I just wanted to, midweek check in. We'll probably check in again next week. Hopefully we get some more information out there and we can talk some more hoops next week. No, we don't have 16 guys, Jason. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 guys, 13 on the roster. I'm not counting the other, walk-ons, all that kind of stuff. So no, we got 13 on the roster right now. And Brady Ewell is on scholarship this season. So that confirms that there will be no more additions to the team. But this has been Flying with Doug. I will see you guys next week for some more talk. Hit me up on Twitter. Let's chat Dayton Flyers hoops. If you have any thoughts about this, hit me up. Go Flyers, and I will see you guys next week.